cyber language that I have worked on for the past 50 years that I believe will be critical in getting the Infinity Crystal to work properly and to interface with all of the alien technology from the crashed ships and captured ships. Then Martha said to Kendra, the reason I brought these two graduate students, Zebu and Zia, into my lab, Kendra, and now into our home was because I was hoping that they would help you to navigate the world once I'm gone. It was a mistake, I can see that now, but you have within you the abilities you have not yet learned to control, as well as gizmos and doodads that Jim and I have developed over the years here in the lab and added to your arsenal of weapons and abilities that will allow you to reprogram any of the human Ds that you capture and convert them to our side. You have their schematics. You know their weak points and how to defeat them. You can do this, Kendra. I have faith in you. You mean we can, said Kendra. No, said Martha. I've been keeping this from you, but the doctors have told me that I have a brain tumor and that it's inoperable. But I believe in the cycle of life, and death is a part of the cycle of life. I do not fear it. I embrace it. And I also embrace the part I still have to play in this coming battle to protect you and to buy you time. And I am ready. I've booby-trapped the lab. They will never get Jim's work or mine. I just hope I take a lot of them with me. They'll never see it coming. Besides, the real treasure is within you, and I believe that you will one day save humanity. Now go and leave me. One day, said Kendra, I will avenge you. Be well, Kendra. Ve con Dios, Mama, ve con Dios, said Kendra as she got into the disposal tube and made ready to make her escape. Zebu, Zia, and Kendra, thought Martha. 3 against a cyber horde of dreadnoughts. May God be with them. So Martha sat in her lab and waited for the attack and thought back to her life, a life that for 50 years had been centered around Kendra. When Jim and I got our orders to melt down our cyber dreadnought daughter, Kendra, we couldn't do it. We couldn't bring ourselves to harm her, so we faked it, running a furnace all day and then recording the melted metal transferred to the foundry. Then I ordered the cyber dreadnought to stand in the storage pantry area of the lab and power down. Then we closed it off, hiding it behind a wall. Jim's last words to me were, Martha, protect her. Of course I would, and I have, Jim. Martha could hear the sound of footsteps in the house, and she knew that she would be soon reunited with her husband. Sitting in her lab waiting for the attack, Martha could see clearly what had happened. One of the science teams working on a human dreadnought must have been experimenting on the alien plastic glass membrane taken from an alien dreadnought and used it to protect a human-built cyber brain. And then the alien plastic glass membrane had reprogrammed and took control of the human D cyber brain and then slowly launched a revolution within the ranks. She knew it, but there was no way to get that knowledge out into the world, so it would die with her. It would die with her when the lab went. So not knowing how much time she had left, she went to work using the photonic mind-mapping device that we use to program the cybernetic brains with very rudimentary and mechanical versions of ourselves. And instead, in a meditative state, she uploaded, she mapped her mind, and then uploaded it not only onto the cybernetic brain, but also using her husband's interface with the Infinity computer. She uploaded it directly onto her new plastic glass membrane that was protecting the cyber brain, and then placed it back into the human dreadnought that Zia had captured and that Martha had been studying in her lab. Martha worked tirelessly deep into the night. And this is where I pick up the story, said the dreadnought version of Martha. Opening my eyes, I saw my organic self, the human Martha, hard at work. Can I help? I asked. Then the human Martha said, the air tube here will shoot you down to the blast furnaces and out of harm's way. I've turned the blast furnaces off, and I will be able to keep them off from up here until the dreadnoughts enter my lab and I let go of the override switch. And then you will have 15 seconds before the blast furnace comes back online. So you'll have 14 seconds to break into the flue duct, close the dampener behind you, and then climb for your life, Martha. Climb for your life. Up the chimney and away. Thank you, I said to the organic me, as I released my grip from the disposal chute and shot down the tube into the blast furnace, where I waited to rip open the dampener and flee through the flute to freedom and to my new life. The moment I heard explosions going off in the lab. Martha, Zebu, and Zia, and Kendra, Zebu, Zaya, and Kendra fought battle after battle against the human D's before defeating them at the Battle of the South China Sea and ending the war, while Martha fought her own battles. And now, the cybernetic Martha, and now she stood there before the United Nations to tell them about how the dreadnought insurrection had been put down. The end.